There we go. We are live, y'all. We are live. Thank you so much for joining us live here. I'm going to I'm going to do what I do. Check my other device and one of the other platforms, one of the platforms to make sure. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do what I do. Check my other device. Wow, that was quick this time. The last couple times, I think it was the last couple times, it's been kind of acting weird. And so it was taking a minute for it to show up in Facebook and all kinds of stuff. But we are going and we're live. So my name is Bess Parks. I am the host and also the creator and founder of hashtag Single Moms Level Up and the founder of the Single Moms private Single Moms Club private Facebook group. Um, this is streaming live in the Single Moms Club private Facebook group and also on Single Moms Level Up YouTube page. So that's a good thing. I'm glad you guys are watching live. If you're watching later, that's good as well. What I wanted to do was introduce myself, obviously, and you guys can hear me, so that's an awesome thing. Let me get to what we are talking about tonight. So, if you don't know, I am also the tech person for now, but we're talking about some things today. So this is day one. This is day one of the single moms event. I'm gonna start calling them events because I think challenges is throwing people off. Because what single mom wants another challenge? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start calling them single mom events. Which we have a lot of events that happen in our lives, but to have something that adds to you instead of taking from you is an awesome thing. And that's what I hope this event does for you. Um, and I'm just sharing things that are from my experience and from basically just my experience, and also bringing things up that people have said were the biggest challenges in being a single mom. So when you join Single Moms Club, there are three questions that are asked, three questions, and we use those three questions to bring up these events, what we call challenges, which was what the question was: what is the biggest challenge you have being a single mom? And so that's where the challenge thing came from. So it's like, okay, let's meet this challenge head on. So so I put that out there, and that's how we do that. um just checking my other device. Now I stream through, I have this streaming through a platform called StreamYard. It may ask you when you come into the Facebook group when I'm going live, if you would allow StreamYard to let me know. It's not everybody and their grandmama, but to let me know that you're on and that you want to share your comments. It's just so I don't have to look off screen here to another device to see your comments. That's all it is. It's not going to send you advertisement. It's not tagging you for nothing. It's just so I can see your comments and don't have to keep looking off to the side. So at the other device, I don't want to do that, with you guys. Oh, doggone it. What just happened? Yeah. But anyway, oh, doggone it, it erased my stuff. Okay. So my grandson was in here. Um, and of course, I can't help but get distracted with my grandson. It's my first grandchild, and I can't help but get distracted with him. He's the cutest thing. Um, oh, that's Facebook trying to tell me be ready for my live, and I've been on for like 4 minutes. That's crazy how late it is. Um, but this is day one. I said day one of without without fear of doing it alone. And this is, I call it a working single, working um, single mom's journey, because it's even harder when you're a single mom and you got to leave your kids with somebody, you know. And it's not always somebody that you know, like that you grew up or that that's you tight with. Sometimes you got to leave them with people that you just met, you know, like babysitters and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to do that, but it's hard. It's hard to do that. And we have to come into a place within ourselves that we're like, look, I need to have some resources for my kids, to take care of my children, to take care of myself, to provide, the household, to uphold all of that, because it's all on us, you know what I'm saying? And when it's all on us, that becomes a little hard and a little bit stressful. And sometimes you get that knot back here behind your shoulder blade, that back there. And but know that it's gonna be okay. Looking off to the other device, just checking for for comments. um the comments for on YouTube will automatically show up on my page. So but yeah, so it's a little hard. It's a little hard. So one of the things that I've realized that I've had to do was I had to get to a point. I had to get to a point where I realized everything starts with me. You know, it starts with me making a decision to do some things that are hard, and to make some hard decisions, have some hard conversations, ask for help. I had to ask for help, and that was a little bit hard because I was really independent and just doing stuff on my own and making my own decisions for just me. And then when I got became a single mom, that changed and flipped my whole life. Um, that changed and flipped my whole life. And that was something that was, for a good moment. It was hard for me to let that go, to let that where I'm not responsible for anybody but myself, and now I'm responsible for a child. It took a little while for me to accept that. You know, it took me a little while to accept that. I know that they say that you have a bonding period with your child and everything, but it just took a minute for me. It took a minute for me. It wasn't until I was working for one of these express delivery services as a driver, and I was working as a driver, and my family was like, "Don't say nothing," because I just got hired at this place, just got hired, and got pregnant, and it's a job that I'd never done before. So I was in training and stuff. I think I was in training for 2 weeks, and I found out I was pregnant. No, 2 weeks, no, maybe 3 weeks. But anyway, it was in the beginning, it was before my 90 days. They told me not to say anything, just do my job, because they didn't want me to lose my job. I went along with it because the way that I grew up was I was a people pleaser. So I was a people pleaser, and I always wanted to do the right thing. I allowed other people to steer me to where they wanted me to go, and just went just to make people happy. And so I attempted to do that, during with this situation, because it was new to me. And so I did that up until the point when I was sent to go do a pickup. Mind you, I'm a courier. And so I was sent to go do a pickup. This particular company, you have to be able to lift 50 pounds by yourself. Um, uh, and anywhere from 50 to 75 pounds with some type of assistance, like a dolly or something. Good googly goo. So when they, when they had computers and they were still coming out and they were still very, very massive, and they came in this big old box. I don't know if you guys remember Gateway computers and how big those boxes were. Well, I had a company that was shipping those somewhere, and I went to go pick them up, and they had um 15, 10 to 15 boxes, and those things were heavy. It was the CP unit, the computer screen, the keyboard, and all that stuff was in there. And I'm like, oh my God. When I got there, I had to do my job. I had to do my job, but I was crying the whole time because I knew that I was pregnant. By this time, I'm in the first trimester. I'm reading all the books, and I'm realizing that first trimester, I'm I'm it's dangerous, the first trimester, because you could lose the baby within that first trimester, and you got to be conscious of what you're doing. You've already, the first maybe 3 to 4 weeks until you realize that you're pregnant and you find out and get it confirmed and all of this stuff. You've already been possibly doing stuff that because you didn't realize you were pregnant, doing stuff that wasn't probably good for the baby. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm going out there doing my job and everything. And now at this point, I think I was about 2 to 2.5 months pregnant, and I had to pick up these boxes. And I was like, oh my God, what if I lose the baby? You know, what if I do something to damage, the baby? And what if something happens? I was like, nobody knows I'm pregnant at the job. These people don't know. I'm sitting there, I'm in a small truck. And so the loading dock is so high, I have to lift it from up high, bring it down, and put it in this truck. I actually think I was in a van, and I had to call them and tell them they needed to send a truck because there was too much stuff. I couldn't fit it all in the van. And so it was after that I decided on my own to go and tell my manager, hey, look, I'm pregnant, and I need to have some, to be put on light duty or something, because and I was crying. I was like, I wasn't going to say anything, but I had this, and I explained all the whole thing, and it was very stressful, but it was the first time in my life that I made that type of decision by myself, without running it past anybody. But that was the first time in my life that I made a decision by myself, and it was scary but liberating at the same time. And I tell you that I didn't have any fear at that time. I was like, whatever happens, I'm just going to put it out there. And I do have to say, I probably prayed about it a lot and was like, I got to do something. I was like, please don't let me lose my job, God. Please don't let me lose my job. Let them just put me on some light duty or whatever. The manager's like, hey, don't worry about it. Yeah, I need you to calm down. You don't need to be upset. All I need is this. He's like, matter of fact, just come in my office. So he had me to come in his office, had me to calm down, gave me some water, said, are you okay? I was like, yeah. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I was like, this just wasn't what I was expecting. And I was like, I don't want to lose my job. And I'm just like, you know, and that manager was so nice and so kind to me. And I appreciated that because he asked me if I was okay. He didn't say, well, company policy. He didn't go there. He treated me like a human being and said, I just want to know if you're okay. Drink this water, calm down. It's all right. Take some breaths. And then he said, all I need is I need a doctor's, thing, saying that you need to be on light duty. That's all I need from you. He's like, and the sooner you can do it, the better. He's like, because I can't request it until I have that paperwork. And I said, okay. And he's like, I was like, cool. Let me go get that information. So I did, and they put me on light duty, and I was put at the counter, to do the counter work. And, if there was something heavy, I asked for help. I did not pick it up. I asked for help. And the crazy thing is my whole experience with that was asking the doctor, who happened to be a female, and she was a little rough, around the edges, and so she I told her, that I needed to have some paperwork to show that I needed to do light duty. And this woman tried to say that I could pick up 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds. I said, excuse me? I was like, okay, so let me tell you where I work at. I work at, this place, that does express shipping, and this stuff can be extremely heavy. You sure you want me to be picking up that much? I was like, can you lower that? Because they literally will have me picking up that stuff by myself. I was like, because that's what's, whatever you say is what they're gonna go by. So she finally lowered it down to 25 to 30 pounds. I was like, yeah, I was about to say, I was like, half a really? Why are you doing me like that? And later on after, towards the end of my pregnancy, um, I was driving a stick shift. I don't know if any single mom has driven a stick shift and you are 7 to 8 months pregnant. Your legs go numb. The only reason that you're able to, if you drive long distance, and so I was driving a long distance from my house to, to the station where I was working. And if let me tell you this. If you're in LA, this is where I was driving from. So I was driving from like the 605 and 91 freeway to Marina Del Rey. And I mean deep in Marina Del Rey, over by like Playa Del Rey, out there, way out there, like almost at the beach. And that's how far I was driving. That's a long ways. And I was driving a stick shift. So I would have to go to work early because I would have to put my seat back. Thank God for bucket seats in a different way, in a different reason this time. But thank God for bucket seats. And I had to put my seat back and lay on my left side to let the circulation and the blood get back in my legs. The only reason my legs were shifting and whatever was because I had it in my mind, shift, shift. And I was telling my legs what to do, but they were so numb. If I attempted to try to get out of the car immediately after I parked, I would lose all, I would just drop. I would just drop. My legs would just like, oh, it was like, they were like, it was crazy. And so I figured that out. And so I started going to work early. And I mean, I was at least 35 to 45 minutes early because I needed to lay down and let the circulation get back in my legs before I got out of the car. There's some things that we go through as single moms, and it gets your mind going and opens your mind up to, hey, there's some stuff changing. I need to change the way I do some things. I changed the way I ate because I was like, you know what? I don't eat well. And when I read all the books, and I'm grabbing this book because I'm sure you guys know this book. Because for me, when I don't know something and I'm like plunged into it, I'm going to go and get some resources. So everybody knows this book. Okay, I'm not going to say everybody. Most single moms know this book. What to Expect the First Year. This is like the third edition. But I had this when I had my son, which was my firstborn. And I was reading that book, and I was taking a lot of it literal. But now, now I know better. And after I had my daughter, I know better that it's just a guideline and that everything's not going to happen exactly like the book says, that there may be deviations for whatever reason, it just happens, but that it's just a guideline. It's just like, bumpers on a bowling alley, just to keep things, hey, it should be somewhere within this range area here. Doesn't have to be exactly this. So, I'm saying all that because that's where a lot of the fear starts. A lot of the fear starts in that first year of us having first year of us um, being pregnant for the 9 months, and then about what is that? About 3 months later too, the first 3 months of being with your baby, it's a scary situation, and you're trying to figure stuff out. It's something you've never done before, and it's scary. It's scary, and then all these things from your childhood, from what you heard, from books, from everything is all swirling in your head, and you're just like, how in the world am I going to do this? Who do I know that has a baby, that can help me out? This is rough. If I was the baby, I'm the baby in my family. At the time I was the baby in the family, and my range of cousins and stuff. I was the baby, and I was at least 5 to 8 years removed from my cousins because they were much older than me. Um, Actually, probably 8 to 10 because my sister was 7.5 years older than me, and my cousins were older than that. I think I have two cousins that were close to my age. One of them is just 1 year ahead of me, and that's on my dad's side. And then on my mom's side, I have a cousin that's closer to me than I thought. I always thought she was much older. She just has an old soul. But anyway, that the fear comes from there, and a lot of that fear comes from us, from our experiences in life and our experiences as kids and the experiences that we have. And so we tend to have to address those things and address them in a way that is helpful to us and to our children. So for me, I leaned on me being able to learn things quickly. And that was in the book, but it was having me to face some of the things that I had, in my head, that I was squeamish, and that I didn't know if I was going to be able to change diapers. I didn't know if I was going to be able to deal with spit up and throw up and all that stuff on me, around me. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do that. Um, and I was like, and now I have this baby to do that for, and I have to be this for this child, and was a very overwhelming for me. Um, but it was a fear that I didn't need to have. And I went to all the classes on how to take care of baby, because I was like, I knew I didn't know everything. So I did that, and I went to those classes, and I was with my insurance was with Kaiser, and that's in, a place in a hospital, yeah, medical hospital, that plan that I had at the time, and they were really good about I was going to show you guys the new. I'll show it to you tomorrow. It's not loaded. So anyway, but yeah, that was the plan that I had, and so they had all these parenting classes that I could take. So now there's a lot of other places that have doulas and whatever else. Doulas are. I wish I would have taken on to a doula. I didn't know enough about doulas to know that they are an emotional support for you, and even if you're going into a hospital, that you could still have a doula. I didn't know that. I thought it was only for like home births and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not down for that. I need to be in a hospital because something go wrong. I want somebody to know what they're doing. But that was just me. But I didn't realize that doulas are emotional support people as well, and that they could just come to your home and be an emotional support in that way. So there's just a lot of things that fear that come on as fear when we are single moms, especially in the beginning. And then at different phases when we're faced with things that we don't know. I believe that single moms, we are chosen, and this is our assignment for the period of time that we're raising our children. And we raise our children, and then we guide them the rest of the way. So I had read in a book that we only have basically the first 3 to 5 years where we can implement, the morals and manners and all that stuff, with our kids, because that's the time that we have with them ourselves, and then we can implement, the manners and all that stuff with our kids, because that's the time that we have with them ourselves, and then we can implement, the manners and all that stuff with our kids, because that's the time that we have with them ourselves, and then we can implement, the manners and all that stuff with our kids, because that's the time that we have with them ourselves, you know, and then we have to put them in, we put them in preschool or wherever, pre-K, Head Start, whatever, and then they start being influenced by other people, other children, and then it becomes that tug of war of who they're supposed to listen to, you know. So that's why they say, you know, it's helpful if we could spend more time with our kids. I had a part-time job at the time, so I spent more time with my son, um, and had a lot of time with him because I wasn't working a full-time job because I had decided to go back to school. I went back to school to get my bachelor's degree. What I was thinking, I'm not totally understanding what, but I do know what I was thinking. I didn't want my son to think that I was stupid, so that I wasn't smart enough to go to college or whatever, you know. So I went to college and got my bachelor's degree in interior design. So I did that with a newborn. I could have waited or whatever, but I did that with a newborn. I was determined, it was in my mind to do it. And I tell you that I had the best experience of college, of school, period, in that time frame that I was in college at that time. I did way better with my grades because obviously I was older and had a better understanding and had a better focus on, hey, this is what I need to do and I want to graduate, and for my son to be proud of me, and to be able to help him with his homework and not just have what I thought was just a basic education. I wanted to be smart, you know, and I did that, and I did it. I ended up doing it very well, and this is not to toot a horn or anything, but because of my determination and my laser focus, I raised my son. I went to school. I got good grades. I actually graduated with honors, cum laude, and I had never been that good in school. I was a C student, a BC student in high school, mostly C's, um, but I had never done that, and I was the same when got my AA degree. When we face things and we focus on and laser focus on some things like ourselves, our mental capacities, our mental, our physical, and our emotional, when we address all those things, I wasn't addressing them, so I was a little chaotic and all over the place, but I would focus. When I had to include school in there, I focused on everything and let things go the way that they needed to go, and things got a whole lot better for me because I learned that I can focus and I can get things done when I focus and have some type of plan of how I'm going to work something out. So I got up. I didn't sleep much. I wasn't sleeping much anyway with the newborn, but I was doing my homework late at night. I put my son on a schedule right away. And so I got him onto a schedule. And so I would do my homework between 3 and 5 in the morning because my son was sleeping between 3 and 5 in the morning. You know, actually he'd sleep between 3 and 6. So I got things on a schedule because I focused and realized what was important and let things go that weren't important. And, you know, at the time was still having had a relationship that was going, but wasn't going very well. And I didn't know what to do with that. So I kind of let it go and let it be whatever it was, you know. Um, but I'm telling you that we don't have to have a fear about it. We can do so much when we make up our mind and we make a decision that this is what we want to do. Find a group, find a group of people just like this. Join this group. Join the group, the Single Moms Club, where we talk about these things and we work through them and we walk through them together, and we find new ways of helping ourselves and helping each other, and supporting one another. That's what you do, is find a community. Now it's much easier because we have social media and all of this. But when we didn't have social media, like when my son was born, and that there wasn't this type of social media available, um, not in this way. It's a whole lot more concise now. I felt so lost and so alone. I just want to let you know, single mom, you're not alone. You are not alone. Here's a whole group of over 200 single moms. We're here together supporting one another and helping each other to walk this journey of single motherhood. It's not just a short period. We are single moms until we get married, and then obviously we're not single moms anymore. But it's a journey, it's an assignment, and something that we can walk through and do together. Life is so much better when we're in community, and especially as women, we can do so much together when we put our minds together, our thoughts, our loves, our and have a place to release our fears, and you know um encourage one another with moving forward with being a single mom, especially those that also have chose to adopt and have taken in children that didn't have families and that you took them on. And I applaud you for that, for being willing to do that. So I wanted to put that out there. This is the first day one of the single moms uh, event, without fear of doing it alone. So take care of yourselves. This is your homework for tonight. And yes, there's just little small assignments that I'm going to give you. Choose a day of the week that you are going to do some self care and some self love. Self love is taking care of your mind, your your spirit, your emotions. Check in on yourself. Ask yourself if you're doing okay. If you're not, journal it out, walk it out, sing it out. However, exercise it out. Do something for you to keep you in good standing and peace within yourself. You know, do something for yourself. Um, once a week. Once a week. Set one day a week. Doesn't have to be the whole day. Could just be for an hour. Could just be for 15 minutes. Could just be for whatever time that you can find. But one day a week, check in with you and do some self love. And then one day a week, do some self care, where you're take a bubble bath, take a nap, do some self care, but check in on yourself, do some self love and some self care. Set one day a week. And that's what I want you to do tonight. Figure out what day is a good day for you to do that for yourself. It's important for you to be okay so that your kids can be okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, day two. Day two, see you tomorrow. And we'll talk about what the Single Mom Coin Kit giveaway, what's in it this month, that will be given away to the single mom that is chosen as the top participant in the group. And mind you, you do have to be a part of the Single Moms Club private Facebook group in order to win the Single Mom Queen Kit. You also have to have won in the past 90 days. And in order to get into all that standing, all you have to do is give us your biggest takeaway in the comments, or share it and invite another single mom into this event so that they can have an experience just like you are. So much love to you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hashtag single moms level up. Bye. And we end in bro.